Thank you very much. My talk will be Go Cradle to Cradle to boost innovation and build a responsible business. As John Cage says, I can't understand why people are frightened of new ideas. I'm frightened of the old ones, and this is an old one. We currently live in a linear economy, and what we do, we make products and produce waste, either for landfill or for burning. Incineration, it's called in a nice word. What we should do is go to a circular economy. And Cradle to Cradle is about making products of such pure materials that you can endlessly recycle them, either in the biosphere, so you make them compostable, or in the technosphere, so you make new products out of it, from plastic, metal, wood, or what have you. Ellen MacArthur, who I'm sure you know, is a very famous woman sailor who went around the globe on her own in 2000 and 2005. And she saw so much garbage on land and in sea that she said, I want all of the kids and students in universities to be taught about Cradle to Cradle. And she asked McKinsey to find out what it would mean if the whole European industry would go circular, like Desso is trying to do. And McKinsey concluded that if the whole EU industry does that, the EU industry can save $630 billion per year. This represents 4% of the GDP of the EU, and we are in the middle of an economic crisis. So what we have to do with all of ourselves is to go circular. Well, this is exactly what we try to do at Desso. We are one of the leading companies in carpet tiles and also in artificial grass pitches. We're also known for hybrid systems with natural grass strengthened by artificial grass, like the Wembley Stadium. We've done a lot of UK stadiums and also the European Championships and World Championships. 90% of our business is carpets, predominantly carpet tiles, but we make also woolen carpets for 5-star hotels, cruise ships, and for aviation. And I try to strictly fly on my own carpet, as you can imagine. We also have a consumer business in Holland, and about 10% of our business is sports. Our strategy is innovation, innovation, and innovation. Through 1, creativity, 2, functionality, and 3, Cradle to Cradle. Now, why is creativity so important? When we bought the company, it was excellent quality, great service, but very boring in terms of design. So we started with circles of architects in all of our key countries where our R&D people go in order to get inspired. And now we are being seen by the industry, by the market as a real trendsetter. Why is that important? 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you could easily see when a product was environmentally friendly because they looked so damned ugly. So what you need to try to do, in our sense, is that you try to combine sustainability or Cradle to Cradle with stunning design. Cradle to Cradle. What is Cradle to Cradle? Well, as I said, it's about making products of such pure materials that you can endlessly recycle them, and also you make them in such a way that they are easy to disassemble. And if you talk to Michael Braungart or Bill McDonough, they always talk about indoor air quality. And their findings are that the average indoor air quality is 3 to 8 times worse than the outside air in London, Manchester or Rotterdam, which is a kind of a paradigm shift. So why is that? We spend 90% of our time inside. That's because of volatile organic components coming from paint and from plastics, but also because of fine particles, fine dust in the air. And we came across a study from 2005 from the German Asthma Association, which said that in a room with hard floors, the level of fine dust circulating in the air is 2 to 3 times higher than in a room with carpets. And on that basis, we innovated and we developed a product which we call Desso Airmaster, which captures fine dust much better than normal carpet does, and it is actually 8 times better than hard floors and 4 times better than normal carpet in capturing fine dust. Now, fine dust is a big issue. According to the World Health Organization, 2 million people per year die because of excessive fine dust inhalation. And that is exactly what we try to achieve with developing this product. Now, we would have never come to this idea if we would not have gone Cradle to Cradle. And fine particles you can't see. 1 millimeter is 1,000 micron. Fine particles are smaller than 50 micron and they go into your lungs, 10 micron does, and 2.5 micron into your vascular system. And attached to fine dust are viruses, bacteria, allergen and pollen. And generally speaking, we do not tend to lick our floors, do we? But we inhale every 5 seconds. So this is a paradigm shift for a lot of people, because normally 9 out of 10 people think that hard floors are better than soft floors. Why did we go cradle to cradle? Well, we went cradle to cradle because it's a positive quality initiative. Waste becomes food for other products. And we think it's needed because of the way the planet currently is. If you look to the Pacific Ocean, close to California, you see a part of the ocean where there is 40 times more plastic than plankton, and there is hardly any life. And that is an area in the ocean bigger than Western Europe. And now they have identified 8 of those plastic soups. So we have to do something in order to go circular. But we of course do it also because of profit. And we started with this exercise in early 2008. And today we can say that our market share has grown of the European carpet tile market from 15 to 23%. And this year in the declining market we are growing 20%. And our profit has been 9-folded right through the crisis between 2008 and now. Why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying this not to brag, also a little bit, but in order to give credibility behind this concept so that we can convince as many CEOs of companies to embrace this concept. Most companies, when they talk about sustainability, they talk about eco-efficiency, less energy, less CO2, which is fine. But cradle to cradle is about eco-effectiveness. And now you can be proud of your footprint, because everything which is in your product is so pure that you can endlessly recycle it. And cradle to cradle is nothing else than a serious attempt to imitate nature. This cherry tree, everything that is blown away or falls on the ground, is being reused again and again in nature. In nature, waste is food. And why on earth would we not try to make products in such a way that you can recuperate the raw materials again and again? Use renewable energy in all stages of the cycle. The last thing we should do with oil is burn it. That's what I said the previous chairman of Shell, Sir Mark Moody Stewart. And he actually listened, he was silent, and he said, well, I think actually you're right, but it will take 30 to 40 years. Well, I think we need to do it in 10 to 20 years, because oil is a very precious material which you can reuse again and again to make iPads, iPhones, carpets, or what have you. As a company, we said all of our products need to be cradle to cradle in 2020, and the whole company needs to run on sustainable energy. That is sun, wind, biomass fermentation, groundwater heating and cooling, geothermal energy, and hydropower. Today, 50%, we reduced our CO2 emissions by 50% between 2007 and 2011. And 33% of our energy today is already sustainable. In 2020, it has to be 100%. So it's all nice to talk about cradle to cradle, but in order to implement it, it is very hard work, because you have to work. We worked with Braungart and his institute, and he analyzed all of our raw materials. We started with our carpet tiles. We never realized that there are 250 ingredients in a carpet tile. We simplified our products. And then he said, well, these ingredients are okay, they are optimal, but these are not acceptable. And our R&D people in the beginning, and our manufacturing people, as did our raw material suppliers, said, what are you talking about? No, we comply with REACH and CE labeling, 2 programs according to the EU, which allow you to use certain toxic ingredients at a certain part per million level. And there Braungart comes, and there Desso comes to their raw material suppliers and say, we want 0,000. Well, one of the ingredients that we use is nylon, and the other ingredient we use as backing, and the whole industry uses that in Europe, is bitumen. And bitumen is not really cradle to cradle, it's the bottom of an oil barrel. So we developed together with Dow Chemical an alternative which is also made from oil, but which is called polyolefin. And that enables you to recycle it again and again and again at a very high level. Or you make office furniture out of it. The carpet tiles are an example of the technical cycle. With our woolen products, we want to make them fully biodegradable. We already made some of these woolen products, but we cannot use them yet because when you use them in restaurants, they are eaten by bacteria. So we need to develop systems with natural materials to make them antibacterial and anti-moth. And for example, we are now looking to mixing it with yarn from wood and bamboo, which from itself have antibacterial properties. This was the roadmap which we made in early 2008 in order to fully become Cradle to Cradle in 2020. 90% of our carpet tiles are Cradle to Cradle certified. But it's all nice to make products of very pure material, but it only makes sense if you go circular, if you close the loop. So I asked in 2008, I'm in the board of the European Carpet and Rug Association, I said, why don't we collectively set up a European carpet recycling system? And they said, well, no, Stef, forget it, because we tried that 3 years ago, we spent €1 million and it doesn't work. And by the way, we already do recycling, we call it thermal recycling. I said, you mean burning? And what we need is go circular. So we decided as a company to set up our own take-back system and say, well, we start to make money with it. Let's try to start make money with that. If you do an analysis of the global recycling industry versus the global carpet industry, you will find out you can make more money with recycling than with carpet making. So I thought, okay, it's a risk, but not that much of a risk. And now what we do, we take back carpet tiles from anybody. 80% of the carpet tiles that we take back is from competition. We separate the yarn, the nylon, from the backing. The backing is bitumen we sell to the road industry. And the yarn, which is nylon 6 mostly, we send back to one of our yarn suppliers who decided, also based on this presentation, but he had already that idea, to spend almost €20 million in a depolymerization plant. And what he does, he depolymerizes the nylon into the original monomer, which he normally buys from the oil industry. And from that monomer, he makes new polymers, new polyamide, new nylon. And I can now say that today, and I could not say that last year, that 60% of all our carpet tile assortment now uses up to 100% recycled yarn. So this is how you can close the loop. And I'll show you a little film to show.
Millions of square meters of worn-out carpet are thrown away every year, often being dumped at landfill sites. Early 2008, Desso, a leading manufacturer of high-quality carpet tiles and broadloom, took revolutionary steps to ensure that carpets can be safely recycled. Inspired by nature's continuous cycle, Desso bears the true identity of the cradle-to-cradle philosophy. Desso offers clients a take-back program to ensure that products will be recycled according to the cradle-to-cradle principles. Products will be taken back by Desso after their useful life and will be safely recycled into new carpet products or used in other recycling initiatives. Besides its own products, Desso also encourages international collection of all types of used carpet, except for carpet containing PVC. These carpet products are recycled using Desso's innovative separation technique, called Refinity. This makes it possible to separate the yarn and other fibers from the backing, producing two main material streams, which can each be recycled. After an additional purification stage, the yarn, with the required purity, is returned to the yarn manufacturer for the production of new yarn. Some virgin material is needed to compensate for losses and process inefficiency. For polyamide 6 yarn, this process takes place at Aquafil, one of our yarn suppliers. Aquafil has developed proprietary technology at its regeneration plant to turn recovered post-consumer polyamide 6 carpet fibers into new polyamide 6, again and again. At Desso, today's bitumen backing is used in the road and roofing industry. Non-recyclable fractions will be used as secondary fuel in the cement industry. Cradle-to-cradle design is inspired by nature and sees carpet as being made up of nutrients that should consistently remain in use in an unending cycle. This is why Desso developed a new backing to replace the traditional bitumen backing. Desso EcoBase is a new carpet tile backing specifically designed with disassembly and recycling in mind. Due to its innovative composition, the polyolefin-based layer of the EcoBase backing is 100% safely recyclable in our own production process. Next to that, Desso is proud to have achieved a cradle-to-cradle silver certificate for an entire carpet tile product. This results in a continuous technical cycle where old carpet is turned back into new carpet again and again and again. Carpets manufactured according to the cradle-to-cradle design principles will be available in the same full range, superior quality and durability that the Desso brand has always represented. Our products promote health, wellness and well-being, and help to create a positive impact on people and the environment. Our footprint is a positive, creative one. Desso Refinity has received funding from the European Union.
Okay, now, so what we have done over the past years, we changed completely the way we sell our and market our carpets. Previously, our salespeople would go there and would say, okay, here this is a great product, great design, why don't you buy it? Today they ask, what are you doing on corporate social responsibility? What are you doing on sustainability? And you normally get this answer, well, we reduce CO2 and we save on energy. Great, we do the same, but have you heard about this? So the conversation has completely changed. And how do our customers and governments react on that? They react normally, 80 to 90% of our customers react very positively, and governments, we are asking to support this as well. Well, we will not ask them to put in legislation, but what we can ask them to do in their procurement requirements, we can ask them to put cradle-to-cradle materials as criteria before purchasing products. And that is actually what is happening today. I draw a circle of companies who are active in this, but I can draw 10 circles around this. For example, Maersk, the biggest shipping company in the world, is now making ships in Korea, and they know of every bolt, screw, plastic and piece of steel where it is going into the ship, so that after 20 or 30 or 40 years they can dismantle the ship and put all the modules on the raw material banks in order to make new ships again, which is a major difference versus what is today happening in Bangladesh, India and Pakistan, where poor people are scrapping the poison out and dismantling the ship. As a last thought, I will show you a film which is about the paradigm shift that fine dust is a big issue and you can solve it.
I'm Alonzo Mourning, 7-time American All-Star. Airmaster improved my performance. It's stylish and innovative, and it's not the shoes. Airmaster is a revolutionary carpet. It's Desso's answer to fine dust in the air, especially important for asthma sufferers like me. It reduces the amount of harmful fine dust in the air by 8 times. So choose Desso Airmaster in your office and breathe cleaner air. Surprising, isn't it?
So Cradle to Cradle is about health and it's about circular. And if we as a total industry will make the whole economy circular, we have an excellent chance to address not only the climate chance, but also the raw material crisis and the toxicity crisis. Thank you very much.